Inspire 2023, what a special night. We are closing in on raising over $200,000 and there's more to come.
Yeah, it was incredible, Nick. Just seeing that our community of donors and supporters, they know what we're doing and they believe in us. They believe in what we are trying to do to help the Northern California spinal cord injury community.
And that story you told about Raphael, I know you've got a strong relationship with him now, but that was special.
Yeah, I got to know Raphael quite a bit. I got to meet him in person as well, and his story reminded me a lot of my own, of just how hard it is to bounce back from a spinal cord injury when you have so little to support you. There's probably a lot more that you don't know about. So stick around, check us out, and donate.
Good evening and welcome to Inspire 2023, NorCal SCI's 6th annual fundraising celebration, and what a party we have in store for you. During the next informative and fun-packed hour, you will have the opportunity to learn more about how our programs have impacted the community we support. We are honoured to have you join us this evening. We could not do the great work we are doing for the SCI community without your continued support. So, to our donors out there, thank you so much. Because of your kindness and generosity, we have had our most impactful year to date as we continue to build a thriving SCI community. Thank you to our sponsors. Waymo, together we are paving the way to a better future. Cruise, building the world's most advanced all-electric self-driving vehicles. Permobile Foundation, dedicated to enhancing quality of life. And Heritage Bank of Commerce. First of all, I would like to introduce you to our new Executive Director, Arash Wayatmaku. He has been on our board of directors for 4 years and has shown passion and commitment to support the underserved SCI community in Northern California. Crucially, Arash, along with other board members, stepped up to fill the chasm left by co-founder Franklin Elia, who tragically passed away in May of last year. He believes wholeheartedly in Franklin's vision for the NorCal SCI community and is already doing his utmost to cement Franklin's legacy. 11 years ago, Arash fell from a 3-story balcony, breaking his neck at C5, leaving him completely paralysed from the shoulders down. After a 7-hour surgery stabilising his spine at the cervical level, Arash spent 10 days in the ICU and a further 5 weeks in inpatient rehab at Kaiser Vallejo before being discharged. He pleaded for more time as Arash and his family were hopelessly unprepared for the next phase of his recovery, but the system was having none of that. Arash had to raise money to pay for his wheelchair, his family had to temporarily lease an accessible apartment upon discharge, and after a couple of home visits from a PT, his rehab care was cut off and he was completely on his own. Unfortunately, this scenario is all too common in today's medical system. It is a cliche, but Arash overcame the odds after his devastating injury, and his life is a testament to what is possible in recovery despite the challenges he faced. Want to find out more? Well, you can read Arash's book, Little Big Steps, available on Amazon, or even watch his TED Talk. Unfortunately, many newly injured do not have his unique fortitude, resilience, and community necessary to navigate a system hopelessly inadequate to provide the necessary care and resources to give an opportunity for the best possible recovery. Just like our late co-founder Franklin, Arash is living proof that with the appropriate support and funding, it is possible to thrive again after such a devastating injury. Arash met his wife Britta just 3 months before his injury, and she stuck with him every step of the way. Arash and Britta are proud parents of 4-year-old daughter Yara and son Covey, who is 2. His own experience has given him direct insight to the challenges the SCI community face on a daily basis, and more importantly, what can be accomplished with appropriate support. Arash is uniquely qualified to lead our organisation and build upon all the incredible programs that NorCal SCI has established. We are fortunate to have him leading the way to build a thriving SCI community here in Northern California. So over to you, Arash Bayatmaku, NorCal SCI's Executive Director and co-host for this evening.
Thank you, Nick. I could not be more honored to have taken this position of Executive Director and to have the opportunity to build upon all of the incredible programs that NorCal SCI has established, as well as to continue to find new ways to help the SCI community. As I've become more involved with NorCal SCI over the past 18 months and taken on greater responsibilities, I've seen directly the incredible impact our organization has on this underserved community. I talk to people living with SCIs and their families every day, and when I hear about the struggles of the newly injured, I'm reminded of my own painful memories of isolation, despair, and helplessness that I had when I was discharged and sent home with no support. I simply can't bear the thought of others being treated as I was, overlooked, dismissed, and given little to no hope for recovery or living a decent life. That's the reason why I'm here, why I'm committed to helping anyone who goes through this horrendous injury, why I'm going to do everything I can to grow this organization, expand our reach, increase the impact of our programs, and provide support and reprieve to those who need it the most. NorCal SCI didn't exist when I was injured, and it would have meant so much to me if such an organization was there for me and my family. Thankfully, not only do we now exist, but as you're about to hear, we're doing everything we can to give hope to literally thousands of people across Northern California. Last year, we announced our desire to honor our late co-founder Franklin and his legacy by opening the Franklin Elias Center for Rehab and Exercise here in the Bay Area. The biggest challenge to completing this vision has been finding and hiring a qualified physical therapist. Despite an exhaustive search with many interviews and candidates, we haven't yet been able to find that PT and open our center. And while we continue to search for that therapist and open the center eventually, the needs of our community just can't wait. People need to be provided with quality outpatient therapy, the kind I didn't get after my injury. And with healthcare companies slashing the number of days of rehab they have provided over the years, the situation has already reached a crisis point. Earlier this year, we launched our largest and most impactful program to date, the Franklin Project. You'll hear a lot more about this program a bit later, but for now, I want to share just how proud we are of the tremendous impact that NorCal SCI is having in so many ways, and it's all thanks to the support of all of you. We are forever grateful. Now I'd like to introduce you to another longtime board member and great supporter of NorCal SCI, my co-host for this evening's event, Dave Greenfield.
Thanks, Arash. Good evening, and welcome to Inspire 2023. Tonight you'll hear about some of our key programs and learn about what we are doing with your support and assistance to continue to build a thriving SCI community in Northern California. Last year, I highlighted our need to pivot from the loss of our co-founder Franklin and our reliance on 2 full-time volunteers, which, as it turns out, are really hard to find, to a sustainable organization with an executive director. And I'm thrilled to report our success in finding a director with the passion, dedication, and vision to build both our organization and our community. Welcome, Arash. 2023 has been our most impactful year to date. You'll learn about the challenges of our community, and you'll hear about stories of the hope and joy that we jointly bring to countless individuals and families. What hasn't changed is our focus on financial transparency and optimal stewardship. I invite you to view our annual report at norcalsci.org, and I'd like to renew our board's commitment to accepting financial responsibility for all donor funds. Also, don't forget our silent auction, which has already started and which will continue until 7 p.m. tomorrow. So you have plenty of time to bid on those items which help fund our vital programs. There are some stunning treasures to be had, from a VIP dinner for 6 at the Pastaria to a private surf lesson for two in Santa Cruz, to exclusive golf outings, we've got you covered. So please check out our silent auction website and stay engaged through Sunday evening. In case you didn't receive the instructions, here's the URL. And it's entirely possible that you may find an opportunity to offer support to NorCal SCI before the end of the hour. Thank you for your time this evening, and thank you for your ongoing support. I'll now turn things over to Tricia and Joe Lawrence.
Thanks, Dave. NorCal SCI continues to provide the SCI community in Northern California with vital programs and resources, the backbone of our organization.
Our biggest impact programs are the Franklin Project, the Nielsen Grant, and the Road to Recovery, which we will feature later this evening.
First, let's take a look at how we connect with our community. We have our website, which had a significant refresh in April and has nearly 100,000 web page views this calendar year. We also publish our newsletter twice a month to over 2,000 subscribers. And finally, there's our social media with a strong presence on Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, and 1,635 followers on Instagram. Our care package program gathers traction with many shipments to other rehab centers, especially in Sacramento. A special thank you to Julie Struthers, who put together our 1,000th backpack in May of this year. Dominic of Half Moon Bay, who had a C3 injury in 2022, had this to say: "Not only did I find the backpack invaluable with the information and resources, but my family also learnt a lot from the material." Technology continues to be key, bringing more independence and security to the SCI community, and we expanded our Smart Home Independence program in 2023 to deliver twice as many installations. They continue to be a game changer for so many in our community. Bonnie from Berkeley gave her thoughts.
I used to struggle a lot, and now it's super easy, and I use it way more than I thought I would. So thank you, NorCal.
Our donated medical equipment program, which is also our most popular webpage, continues to be an essential resource for many individuals who do not have the proper insurance coverage or financial means for basic medical equipment. The program is simple yet extremely effective. When someone no longer needs a piece of medical equipment, we store it and then deliver it to those who need it the most. We are on track to deliver over $160,000 worth of vital equipment, our biggest year to date. Neha from Pleasanton had this to say: "I had tears in my eyes when I was told that I would be receiving a power chair. With this chair, I am able to play with my two young children outside as they ride their scooters and go on walks with them as well. I also walk my daughter to school with this chair. Thank you, NorCal SCI." A special thank you to Franklin's nephew, Michael Bejan, for his tireless support in ensuring seamless pickup and deliveries at our Los Gatos storage location.
We're excited to have been able to meet in person this year as we finally kicked off our in-person get-togethers. In May, we hosted a booth at the DSLC Tech Expo in Santa Rosa, which was an excellent opportunity to reach out to the SCI community in Sonoma County. In June, we hosted a fun-filled beach access day at Natural Bridges Beach near Santa Cruz. Our friends at Nature Tracks provided these incredible all-terrain vehicles, which allowed the user to seamlessly mount their wheelchair on top. It was beautiful to see so many of our community able to roll along the beach with their friends and family, and have lunch together afterwards. And then Visona Lake in Los Gatos, when the ADA dock was unveiled in July. We had a great gathering for the ribbon-cutting ceremony, and I have to mention that this was actually Franklin's vision after participating in Day on the Lake in 2018. His tireless advocacy and leadership was instrumental to the eventual opening of the accessible dock, a first for Santa Clara County. Now, accessible kayaking is available every day on the lake. Last month, the SCI community got together in Oakland for the annual Comedy for a Spinal Cause, with all ticket sales going directly to NorCal SCI. What a fun night it was, and a special thank you to all the stand-up comedians who donated their time, especially co-host David Nyhill, who will be making a special appearance this evening. Just last week, we continued our outreach at Accessibility Day at Renova Park in the shadow of Santa Clara Valley Medical Center Rehabilitation Center. Our booth was constantly busy as we connected with many friends, old and new, from the SCI community.
And next week, we're on the road to Modesto, where we will continue our outreach at the Disability Awareness Day. We're going to continue to organise these in-person events to build community among our wheelchair users. But in the meantime, thanks to Zoom, we can still meet regularly online. Let's talk about that.
Well, we've had a few interesting virtual sessions with our community on some very relevant topics. We talked about body dysmorphia to help give our community an idea of how to get to a place of feeling confident about their appearance, as it's easy to lose your sense of self-worth as a wheelchair user. We also did one on air travel, of course, as so many wheelchair users are nervous about flying. That was a really good session and answered a lot of questions. We've also continued to provide our twice-weekly virtual fitness classes, and after 3 years, they are still gaining in popularity. Later this year, we will be hosting another SCI virtual consultation, allowing our community to connect with SCI medical experts online. Thank you again to Carol Adler-Hughes, Rebecca Hummel-Moore, Shelley Wood, and Aaron Hallett for your expertise, time, and compassion, allowing us to offer this unique program. And you've started a series of caregiver sessions, right?
Yes, but I'm going to let my good friend Robin talk about that next.
Thank you, Tricia and Joe. When my husband Ray suffered his spinal cord injury almost 4.5 years ago, we were fortunate to learn of the wonderful peer support group that met weekly at Santa Clara Valley Medical Center.
NorCal SCI have a special relationship with Santa Clara Valley Medical Center, and the founding board members have been an integral part of the peer support for many years. The rehab leadership paid a fitting tribute to Franklin and Carl by unveiling a stunning piece of work created by Mio Zakula in the peer support room. Staff, friends, and family were there to remember their compassion and selflessness. NorCal SCI supports peer support throughout Northern California, providing a regular meeting for the newly injured at the Sutter Rehabs in the Bay Area, as well as virtual meetups for everyone living with SCI across Northern California.
I was incredibly thankful Ray had found regular community and support for this new world we had been thrust into. I quickly realized there wasn't any support for the family and loved ones of those with the spinal cord injury. Even amongst very good friends, it can be difficult to talk about issues connected with an SCI, most of which are not visible to the able-bodied world. Topics such as bowel and bladder issues, spasticity, pain, skin health, sexual relationships, mental health, bone health, and nutrition can all be awkward to discuss to those outside of the SCI community. I'm so grateful to have become friends with two amazing women, Tricia and Jennifer, through the SCI community. Together, we have started a support group for caregivers of spinal cord individuals. So far, our meetups have been through Zoom, but we are looking forward to having our first in-person get-together soon. Our meetings have been an opportunity to meet other caregivers and loved ones, to offer a safe community where all are welcome to share their experiences and challenges, to ask questions, share emotions, or to simply listen.
Thank you, Tricia, Joe, and Robin. I have the great honor of introducing a special guest appearance from comedian David Nyhill. David and Arash have been friends for many years, and after Arash's injury, they teamed up to start the annual stand-up comedy fundraisers, Comedy for a Spinal Cause. In addition, David also donates a portion of sales from his very successful and hilarious book, Do You Talk Funny?, to people living with spinal cord injury. He's been touring internationally since 2021, recently released a full-length comedy special, and just announced a new international tour beginning in January. he's been kind enough to take a few moments out of his busy schedule to join us. David, it's an honor to have you.
Now that you've successfully navigated a Scottish accent, this Irish one should sound a lot easier to understand. Don't even worry about the subtitles. Just listen. David Nichol is my name, and in theory I'm a comedian. I say in theory because I never really planned on doing that, but that's what life does to us sometimes, and I don't need to tell that to a bunch of people interested in spinal cord injury. You know that that's something that often comes out of nowhere. We didn't expect it, and then so all of a sudden it's something very close to our hearts. In my case, it was a friend of mine that suffered the injury. We started doing a series of fundraisers called Comedy for a Spinal Cause, where we bring together comedians and people in need of the money to facilitate and assist their recovery from spinal cord injuries. We've been doing that around the Bay Area in California for about 11 years now. So it's obviously a cause very close to my heart, and I applaud you for joining and supporting it, and you're in very good hands with NorCal SCI. Thank you very much.
Since its inception, Comedy for a Spinal Cause has raised a remarkable $27,000 for spinal cord injury causes. Thank you, David. And yes, after spending time with Irish Dave, I thought I had a handle on accents, but then I met our co-founder Nick, and thank goodness for subtitles. And don't worry, we'll share links to all the books, TEDx talks, comedy specials, and whatever else we've mentioned in the Zoom chat. We'll also include them in a follow-up email so you won't miss anything. And now, I'd like to introduce another member of our board of directors and volunteer extraordinaire, Dan Scribner. Since he joined our board last year, Dan's taken on tremendous responsibility and been a vital contributor to the success of our organization. Not only does he manage one of our largest programs, the Nielsen Grant, which you'll hear about in just a moment, he's stepped up and become involved with many other elements of our day-to-day operations and provided crucial peer support to many of our newly injured people who often just need someone they can talk to. He always has a positive attitude and a smile, and I couldn't ask for a better colleague. Dan, on to you.
Thank you, Arash. I've been managing the Nielsen NorCal SCI grant program since June of 2022, and I've met many different people throughout Northern California with spinal cord injuries or disorders that have occurred within the last 2 years. It has been heartbreaking to see the significant impact it has made on their lives and the lives of their families, and then very uplifting when we've been able to help many of the 50+ grant recipients make improvements in their recovery journeys, especially since many have had very little access to physical rehab since being released from their inpatient setting. The program is 4 months long with various components to help each participant. The key focus is providing physical activity opportunities at a local rehab gym, a virtual fitness class, and exercise videos. A large educational video library is provided for information about spinal cord injuries, nutrition, and cooking. Support information is provided, as well as an opportunity to work with a peer mentor during the program. We are thankful for the Craig H. Nielsen Foundation that has provided funding for this program. The feedback we have received demonstrates how important this program is. From Lindsay, who was an early participant, to Jordan, who is currently in the program.
I applied for and got, and I'm so grateful that I did for so many reasons, but mainly because it helped me get my life back. And what I mean by that is I found that I can work out. You know, I can go, I joined an adaptive gym called SciFit Dublin, and it was a game changer for me. Not only just being in a gym again and being around other people who are taking care of themselves, I got to meet and see other people in wheelchairs who were crushing life.
October 2022, I was shot during a home invasion, which left me with a T2 spinal cord injury, meaning I'm paralyzed from my chest down. The Nielsen Grant allowed me to go to SciFit, where I was able to strengthen my core. I was able to meet people who were in the same situation as I was, and I was able to branch out and feel okay in my body, and I was able to learn that this isn't the end, that life keeps going on, and I've grown stronger from this. I am forever grateful to NorCal SCI.
Anyone not directly connected with someone with a spinal cord injury may not be aware of the daily challenges faced by individuals and their loved ones just to make it through the day. From getting out of bed in the morning, to the many medications needed, to showering, getting dressed, managing chronic pain, and bowel and bladder programs. It can literally take hours just to get up and get ready for the day. There are also complications such as neuropathic pain, autonomic dysreflexia, pressure sores, and the dreaded urinary tract infections experienced by so many persons with an SCI. The next time you get up to use the restroom, be aware not everyone can take that for granted. For the SCI community, it is human instinct not to complain and not to draw attention to their daily challenges. NorCal SCI needs to give our community that voice which can be heard. Through your generous support, NorCal SCI has been directly helping people address some of these numerous challenges through one of our longest running and most impactful programs, the Road to Recovery. These grants are available to anyone with an SCI, no matter how long they've been injured, to help improve their quality of life for home modifications, specialized medical equipment, and rehabilitative exercise therapy. This year, we made an important change and added a fourth category for grant recipients: mental health services and support. Now, more than ever, we recognize the importance of mental health, especially after a traumatic injury or disorder, and in our efforts to normalize discussions of mental health and move beyond outdated taboos, we're proud to offer applicants the opportunity to use our Road to Recovery grants for mental health services with qualified therapists. Pam from Woodland, who had a C6 injury in 2019, had this to say: "I really didn't think I needed therapy all that much, but after having spent time talking with a therapist, I realized how helpful this was and how much I had been covering up, even from myself. I've learned some healthier mental habits and applied them in my daily life as issues come up, and it's definitely lessened my internal misery. Thank you so much, NorCal SCI." This has been our most impactful year ever for Road to Recovery. The grant award range has been increased to $2,500, and we've given out grants to 18 individuals and counting, worth over $38,000 that have really had a positive impact on quality of life. Karen from Walnut Creek received a travel power chair, making it so much easier for her to attend her medical appointments and take care of her accessible garden. Josh, who lives in Grass Valley, is far more mobile with a specialized leg brace. And Brandon, a resident of Clovis, can now travel outside his home with his power chair thanks to a specialized vehicle lift. Here's to the successful continuation of these two vital programs as we go into 2024.
Dave and Arash, their second time hosting Inspire 2023. It looks like they've been doing it for decades. These guys are so professional. Arash is too modest to say so, but what a good job both Dave and Arash did are being our co-hosts again.
As you heard earlier, when I was injured in 2012, I was given the bare minimum of inpatient rehab while in the hospital. My body had changed completely, and it wasn't just the paralysis. But after doing just enough to show me how to manage my day-to-day care, which was an exhaustive and hours-long process, they passed on all those responsibilities to my family, and the implicit message from my health insurance was clear. You're alive and generally stable enough. We're not going to help you anymore, and you're on your own. Good luck. My situation was not unique. It's the standard now, and sadly, this crisis has become normalized. This much is clear. Many people who suffer spinal cord injuries are structurally, systematically, and consistently being denied the care and opportunity they deserve to pick up the pieces, give themselves the best chance to heal and recover function. They have to transition to living and moving forward in an entirely new body with a host of new challenges and complications to manage. Since its founding, NorCal SCI has been committed to alleviate this burden, and that's why we've dedicated so much of our time, effort, attention, and donations towards providing people with better outpatient rehabilitation opportunities. Our dream of opening the Franklin Elias Center right here in Northern California remains our priority, but while we work to find and hire the right physical therapist, we know that the needs of the spinal cord injury community simply cannot wait. For a few years now, we've had a great partnership with NeuroWorks in Salt Lake City, Utah, and have sent a few people there for stints of therapy. But this past January, we took that to another level when we launched our biggest and most impactful program to date, the Franklin Project. It may seem crazy to send people from California to Utah, but NeuroWorks is a world-class, one-of-a-kind facility. Anyone who goes there quickly understands why people travel from all over the country and the world to spend time at this unique and extraordinary center with some of the best therapists, staff, and equipment you could find anywhere. Participants who are approved to the Franklin Project are provided with 2 hours per day of one-on-one intensive physical and occupational therapy, plus multiple more hours of independent exercise, 5 days a week for 5 weeks. We also provide fully accessible lodging for them and a family member or caregiver, as well as transportation assistance to and from Utah. A few participants have even taken advantage of the world-class mountains and tried adaptive skiing, a first for them. We knew this program would reap benefits, but even we couldn't imagine the tremendous success and impact this has had on their lives and their families and loved ones. Becky, a mother of 4 from Sacramento, who had a T7 injury in 2021 and was our very first participant, shared this. NeuroWorks gave me the core vocabulary and tools and goals I needed that no doctors and medical side could do for me. I didn't have anyone to push me further and get me healthier physically. They helped open my eyes for learning new ways to improve my health and recovery. My pain is at least 40% reduced just from the core exercises they gave me. Chris from Oakland, who had a T10 injury last year, shared, "Physical therapy pushed me to limits I never reached, but the biggest growth and recovery wasn't physical, it was mental. My family wasn't able to support me the whole 5 weeks, so there was a period when I was all alone and I had to face reality and all the thoughts I'd been avoiding for the first time. This environment was the perfect place to do that. I learned how to drive on my own, wash clothes, prepare for the next day, go to the grocery store, go on outings, and gain my sense of independence again. I know that journey will continue, but this experience helped me find peace. Thank you for the opportunity." It's amazing what giving people a chance to better themselves can do to improve their overall situation. And thanks to the support of all of you, we're on track to meet our goal of sending 20 people to Utah this year to complete this program. We now know that when people who've suffered a recent injury can maximize their rehabilitation, especially in those early months, they have the best chance of recovering function, reducing their secondary complications, and finding the mental fortitude and resilience to navigate a life that is so much more difficult and demanding than what they knew. To put it simply, the Franklin Project is giving people hope, and there's no better example of the impact of the program and the hope it can provide than the story of one of our participants, Raphael.
Raphael, thanks for talking with me. Can you tell me a little bit about your injury and those initial moments after?
The date of my injury was June 25 of 2022. I was out boating with some friends. I did a backflip off the boat, and I hit the shallow area, and I sustained a spinal cord injury, C4 Asia C incomplete. When I woke up, they told me that I was a spinal cord injury, that I was going to be in a ventilator for the rest of my life, that I was going to have the E trait, in my throat for some time, that I was going to be paralyzed, from the neck down for the rest of my life. I mean, they really gave me no hope of me regaining any mobility, or gave me any hope of me getting back on my feet or standing again. They just came, gave me my, they told me, hey, you're going to be paralyzed from the neck down. You're going to be in a ventilator, and there's not going to be a chance of you to walk again. And literally, that's when it hit me that, I was going to be paralyzed for the rest of my life.
Can you share a little about your life before your injury?
I come from a family of 12, and I have 4 sisters and 7 brothers. But, all my brothers are union iron workers. So I basically fell into the family business, the family trait, which is iron workers. So I worked for quite a few years, building bridges, sky rises in the Bay Area in San Francisco. One of the projects that I was very fortunate to work on was the Bay Bridge, the new Bay Bridge in San Francisco. I also worked at the Warrior Stadium in San Francisco.
What kind of impact did this injury have on you?
It's life-changing, like I was so used to doing a lot of stuff. It's like it's really hard. It's really hard being so independent and coming down to having my sister, doing everything for me. It's really hard. And again, there's not a lot of people I get to open up to, like what I'm living and what I'm going through. So it's really taking a hit on me right now, You know what? I didn't think it was gonna affect me so much going back and talking about the whole thing, but my stomach's getting upset. I'm getting so emotionally, it's crazy.
What impressed you the most about NeuroWorks?
The staff, man. As soon as I met Jan Black, it was like right away I thought to myself, like, oh my God, I'm in good hands.
How did taking part in the Franklin Project impact your recovery?
Just me being able to get up onto the walker and take those steps, it made me, realize that there is hope. Before I went to NeuroWorks, I couldn't really do much. I was just getting my stretches done. After NeuroWorks, I was able to do sit to stands, from my chair and hold my balance. I was able to walk, take steps, things that I couldn't do before, because I was paralyzed. Like I was paralyzed from the neck down. Like I had no movement whatsoever. So when I came out of NeuroWorks, and I'm walking on a walker, it was amazing. I'm very grateful for NorCal SCI. I want to thank them on behalf of me and my family. Like I said, prior to my injury, I had no hope, but NorCal SCI and NeuroWorks changed that in my life. I went in a wheelchair to NeuroWorks and came out with a walker and a standing frame that I got donated to me. So I'm on my way on getting better for sure, I know for a fact I am going to get up off this chair. One of these days, I'm going to get up off this chair and I'm going to walk. I know that. There's no doubt in my mind,
There is no doubt in my mind too, Rafael. We have $50,000 in matching funds available, and I'd love to reach that number as quickly as possible. Your donations and support will provide that hope and opportunity that people so desperately need, and what allows them to pick up the pieces after their injuries and become thriving members of society. Since this year has been our most impactful for our community, let's raise the funds to ensure 2024 is even more impactful and to help our community in all the ways you've seen tonight. With the NeuroWorks therapy running at $5,000, the total cost to give one person the opportunity for 5 weeks of vital rehabilitation can be as much as $12,000. Yet the confidence, guidance, support, and knowledge that people leave with is worth much more than any dollar amount. Each Road to Recovery grant that we give out that immediately can improve someone's quality of life costs up to $2,500. And those smart home independence packages we mentioned earlier, those can run us $1,500. And each one of the 200 care packages we give out to the newly injured costs $100. And with the Nielsen grant coming to an end and our increasing staffing costs to ensure we are sustainable, we need your support more than ever. So friends, let's work together so that no one is left behind, no one has to suffer alone, and everyone knows that NorCal SCI is building a thriving community of people who can live with more opportunity, more support, and with greater dignity.
We are now moving to the most important part of tonight's program, where we ask you to open your hearts and your wallets to help us achieve our goals. As you just heard from Raphael, life with an SCI presents continuous and consistent challenges. We as an organization are dedicated to helping people at all stages and situations following their injuries. And while some of our programs are focused on those initial months and years after the acute trauma, we are just as dedicated to our programs that can support long life health and quality of life. So by supporting and donating to NorCal SCI, you're helping the full SCI community in Northern California. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to do this work and to serve this population. I'm really excited to share with you that thanks to the generosity of our sponsors, Waymo, Cruise, Paramobile Foundation, NewMotion, Heritage Bank, and an anonymous sponsor, your donation is likely to go a lot further than you think, as we have funds available to match the first $50,000 worth of pledges. Here's how this is going to work. Once we start, I ask that you make your pledges using the chat window on your Zoom page. We'll see the donation, and my partner Arash will do his best to call out every pledge. Later, NorCal SCI will contact you so you can honor this pledge in a way that works best for you. A one-off donation by check, credit card, or even stock shares works great. An increasingly popular way to donate is to set up a monthly recurring donation. We will work with whatever option you like. For those of you who work at a company that offers matching funds, this is where I ask that you be as generous as possible so we can take advantage of these matching dollars. Your donation is tax deductible to the extent allowed by our friendly tax authorities. Let me clarify the guidelines here. We will have multiple pledge levels, starting on the high side. Please jump in with a pledge at the level where you are comfortable. Whether you're donating a large amount or a modest amount, everyone will get the opportunity to donate during this pledge. So let's get this pledge underway.
Raphael's incredible story really helped our pledge drive. And again, our donors came through big time. We are closing in on $200,000. And we really just can't thank you, our donors, enough for your contributions, because you are making a huge impact on the spinal cord injury community in Northern California.
Yeah, Nick, we've learned from hosting this event for a few years now that hearing those personal stories like Raphael's really, really connects with people and resonates with them. It helps them understand how their generous donations are being used to help the SCI community. So we had an incredible pledge section. We can't thank our donors enough for that. And we also had a wonderful auction. We were auctioning off a variety of different items. We had Golden State Warriors legend Chris Mullin donate a couple of tickets to a Warriors game, all kinds of other fun things that people bid on. So just a really, really successful night overall. And again, we just can't thank our donors enough for all of the generosity and support. And now I'm going to pass it back to Nick to wrap things up.
Thank you so much to everyone who joined us this evening. And for those of you missing the subtitles, we have to thank our sponsors, Waymo, Cruise, Permobile Foundation and Heritage Bank of Commerce. Thank you to the multiple individuals and businesses who made our auction possible with so many fun and unique donations. Remember, the silent auction will continue to 7 p.m. tomorrow, and don't leave your bid to the last second or you may be disappointed. I want to personally thank the entire NorCal SCI board, Chris Wilder, Arash Bayat-Maku, Dave Greenfield, Tricia Lawrence, Julie Pollitt, Praveen Vazirani, and last but by no means least, Dan Scrivener. With your talent, support, commitment, and dollars, NorCal SCI is establishing a sustainable organisation that has continued to build a thriving SCI community in Northern California. To our inspiring donors, please stay engaged with us as we plan to make 2024 our most impactful year yet. We simply could not do this work without your compassion and generosity, and on behalf of the NorCal SCI organisation and the SCI community in Northern California, thank you so much. I wish you all a very good evening.